Hi guys, I'm Prantik from Happy Marketer. This is our first video from a Happy Marketer TV series. The idea is to talk about different interesting trends and different practices and interesting campaigns that's happening around Asia and the digital marketing world. Today I have our colleague and CEO Rachit, who's going to talk about an interesting blog post that he posted about rebranding and SEO. Rachit, over to you.
Hi, I'm Rachit, and that's our third partner, David, behind the camera directing us and making
Hey
faces.
Dave. That's Dave.
Well, let's jump into it.
Well, so we're talking about your blog post today about Prudential having a rebranding strategy. So, and what's the impact of SEO on a rebranding strategy? But wait, I mean, how did you even come up with that blog post? What's the background?
Funny you ask. So, I actually got this letter from Prudential.
Okay.
It says, "Dear valued customer, thanks for printing out my name. Please note that Prudential Asset Management blah 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 is changing its names to Eastspring." And it's weird because we've gotten some inquiries recently from companies undergoing rebranding, and obviously we get called on for the part of search social media on how to manage the rebranding part. So that's what got me started on the blog post.
Interesting. And so, I mean, what do you think, or when do you think is the right time? You know, when a brand marketing team is looking at a rebranding process, usually it's a very, very large process, very long process for large corporates because they got to look at their different subsidiaries and consider various aspects. So, when is the right time for them to think about the impact of SEO, and how do they go about planning their SEO strategy when they're undergoing this rebranding process?
So I think one thing that needs to happen with marketing managers is most of them don't realize that 20, 30, 40% of their website traffic actually comes from SEO, comes from natural Google search results. Now, if they knew that and if they were aware of that every month, this would be super high priority. We wouldn't have to discuss something like this.
Okay.
In reality, though, it comes as an afterthought. So the ideal time to go about this would be 3 to 6 months before the new brand goes live.
Okay.
When they're actually discussing the mechanics of the new website.
Right.
Because the most important questions around SEO revolve around the website.
Right. Okay, so you're saying about 3 to 6 months. Now, I mean, I would imagine that Prudential has changed its name to, sorry, what's the new name?
Eastspring.
Eastspring, right. So if I'm presuming there's going to be a new website and there's going to be a marketing campaign around that. So, I mean, do you suggest that they have a new website, a new web asset, new mobile app, or should they tweak their current website? Because I'm guessing there's some correlation that Google's going to place in terms of website history and all that.
Right. Yeah, that's an interesting question because their current website obviously has a lot of incoming links, is probably ranking well for a lot of keywords they want to, especially brand related keywords. So what do they do with that asset? So they have 3 choices when it comes to this, and this is probably the most important decision for enterprise SEO when rebranding and site moving happens. So the first choice is that they keep the first domain name and they just change the content. So there is no second new domain name.
Okay.
So even though it's Prudential changing to Eastspring in this case,
right.
They don't have a Eastspring website. It's just a Prudential website and the content on that website changes. The advantage of that is you don't rock the boat. The rankings that you already have, you retain those rankings. The page rank, the links, all of that stuff gets retained. So that's a relatively smooth way to do it.
Okay.
The second option is you completely kill off the first website and you keep only the second new website alive. Okay. Now, a lot of Corpcom divisions like that because it feels like a clean start. From an SEO perspective, it's a big problem because Google now sees a brand new website go up, and most IT managers don't know how to manage that change. In the right SEO way, every page from the old site needs to be redirected to a new page on the new site.
Right.
What ends up happening though is most IT managers redirect blindly from every page to the home page.
Okay.
That kills SEO.
Okay.
So that's option number 2. You keep the new site and you kill the old site. Option number 3 is you maintain 2 sites. So it's a bit tougher from an IT management perspective because you're maintaining 2 sites.
Right.
And from a messaging perspective, you have to keep 2 sites updated. From an SEO perspective though, it's great because all your PR and your mentions are going to get the new site ranked well.
Sure.
And you already have the old site ranking well.
Right.
And so now out of the top 10 results in Google for your keywords, you can have 2 sites that are controlled by you.
Okay.
right? And so you can still modify the content messaging, and you can have a lot of links flowing in between the sites.
Right.
So one can be about product, the other can be about corporate.
Right.
But that's the best strategy if we had most leeway.
Okay. But I mean, tell me, I mean, a brand like Prudential has, so much legacy and history. So I can imagine that there would be a lot of effort that they would have put in terms of, building links for keywords related to Prudential, right? So how does the keyword strategy change from an SEO perspective?
So one thing is, I think people are not going to forget the Prudential brand name anytime soon.
Yeah. I'm guessing there's a transition period, isn't it?
Yeah, it's probably a couple of years. People still refer to things with their old names.
Yeah.
Right, there's this building across the road and people still call it Temasek Tower, although it's been half a decade since then.
Yeah.
So from a keyword perspective, there will be a small percentage of people that will start using the new name Eastspring.
Okay.
And they'll pick up. So that demand will increase over time.
Okay.
The spike will be now as the announcements happen, as people get emails, letters. A lot of people will start searching for it. So in Prudential's case, unfortunately, they don't rank right now for the word Eastspring.
Sure.
It's a pretty easy fix. A couple of links from their old site to the new website should be able to fix that. But somebody needs to be taking care of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just taking Prudential as an example, but a lot of websites struggle with the same stuff. So the Eastspring or the new brand-related keywords will continue to grow.
Okay.
The new ones will still hang around for a while, and especially for Prudential because they're only renaming one division, I think. So there are probably other divisions that still continue to use the Prudential name.
Sure.
So for that, the number of keywords dramatically increases, which means we need a lot more pages, a lot more content to rank well for these keywords, which is why the two-website strategy is easy from that perspective.
Okay. All right. And I mean, you talked about domain names, right? So what are the different domain name issues that they must bear in mind? Because like you said, if I'm going to have my Prudential website, so do I buy the new domain name and then redirect them, or what should be the best practice there?
So obviously, if you can get a short domain name, that's best. If they could have gotten eastspring.com and eastspring.com.sg, that would have been awesome because people remember that a lot more easily.
Okay.
If you don't, then you keep going longer with a company name. So I think they got eastspringinvestmentmanagement.com.sg or something.
Okay.
So again, this is a corporate decision that has to be made. Do you create a new website, or do you just take that old website and redirect it back to the new domain name?
Right. And okay, I mean, I think before we end, if you can just give us the top 3 principles that any rebranding project must bear in mind from an SEO perspective, and if you can share any good example, I think that will be good for our audience.
Okay, so I think the first important decision, like we just talked about, was making sure that the decision about one website, 2 websites, or both websites, that's a very important one. A lot of discussions need to happen around that. That needs your corpcom, marketing, IT, executives, everybody's involved in that decision.
Okay.
So that's probably the most important factor to look out for. The second is, as we discussed, the number of keywords you suddenly cater for doubles. Because if people are searching for Prudential rates or Prudential contact, now they'll search for Prudential rates and contact and Eastspring rates and contact.
Sure.
So to accommodate all these new keywords, you need new content. So somebody needs to rewrite all the old content or write new content to cater to all these keywords.
Okay.
And the third is, it sounds stupid saying it, but even today a lot of websites that are created are not really SEO friendly.
Right.
The Google bot still has trouble indexing them because we end up using Flash, or we don't cater to tablets and phones, which is a major factor.
Right.
Or they're technologically very heavy with complex URLs. So there's still a whole standard list of technical problems that websites have.
Right.
So with the rebranding is a good chance to put somebody in charge of SEO so that at least those things are checked off.
Okay.
Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed the video about SEO. If you have any comments about the video you just saw, please give us a comment in the comment box below. If you have any suggestions about any videos that you want to see in the future, please do feel free to give us those suggestions. Anyways, until next time, see ya.